Hi, it's Ike from Groovy Entertainment. Today we got another book to read for you. Today, book is Oliver and Company from 1988. So let's get started. One morning in New York City, some kitten peeked out from a box on the sidewalk. Passing by, a girl noticed the sign. Above the box, kitties need home. She picked up a kitten and left. Then a man came by and took another kitten. Finally, two boys chose two more kittens, and a little orange cat was left alone. The kitten ventured out onto the sidewalk, but found himself knocked aside by the rushing crowd. The ginger-colored kitten came up on Louis' hot dog stand. I'm hungry, he thought, smelling the hot dogs. Just then, the kitten was startled by Dodger the dog. Hey, I don't eat cats. Too much fur, assured Dodger. But together we can both have something to eat. Dodger convinced the hungry kitten to help carry out a plan to get some of Louie's hot dogs. Dodger started barking, chasing the kitten toward the hot dog stand and up Louie's shirt. As Louie yelled and chased the kitten, Dodger grabbed some hot dogs from the cart. In the meantime, Dodger's friend was watching television in an old abandoned bridge at the harbor. This is boring. Let's see some boxing, whined the Chihuahua. Sure, quiet, Tito, snapped Francis, the bulldog. What's keeping him? Asked Rita, who looked like in Afghanistan. Tito had enough of the programs and yanked the cord out. The others was about to clobber little Tito when Darter showed up with the hot dogs around his neck like a prize medal. Hey, Darter fans, dinner is served. You have seen the monster I fought to get the chow. The kitten had followed Darter to the harbor, angered that the dog had ran off with the sausages. He creeped on he creeped onto the worn out roof and heard the dog voices through a crack. Then what happened? Asked the Great Dane, Einstein, his mouth filled of sausage. It came toward me, all sharp claws and dripping fangs. Suddenly, just then the ceiling collapsed, and the kitten fell with a chatter, scaring the dog. The kitten trying to explain himself. I was following this dog. He's lying, Tito sneered. I just want some of the sausages. I helped him get, the kitten said. That's him over there. The gang looked over at Dodger, who was watching television. Hey, kitty, you're late for supper, Dodger said casually. Sharp claws, Dodger laughed Tito. Dripping things, teased Francis. Tito would have picked a fight with Dodger, but Fagin walked in with a box of dog biscuits. Sky was Sky will be here any minute, announced Fagin as he threw some biscuits to the eager dogs. After the gang devoured the biscuits, they started crowding around their master. No, no, stop. No, he, laughed Fagin. Soon their play was interrupted by a sound of a car horn. I'll be right there, called Fagin. He frequently inspects the loot that the gang had brought home. That day, this stuff is worthless, guys. Don't you have anything else? All the dogs claimed Fagin sighed. How are we ever going to get out of this one? Suddenly the two Dobermen burst in, snarling. Look who's here, kids, said Fagin nervously. Nice doggies, said Fagin. He reached out to pet the Doberman, but pulled back in fear as one of them viciously snapped at him. I was just on my way out. After Fagin left, the Dobies growled at the game. The car lights blinded Fagin on. He stumbled to the limousine. He presents to loose the Sky. I don't want junk, Sky said, blowing cigarette smoke into Fagin eye. You have 3 days to get the cash or else. Sky called back his dogs and drove away. Back on the bridge, the gang was praising the kitten for standing up to one of the Dobermen who had attacked them. He had scratched the dog's nose. Fagin returned and collapsed onto his chair. 3 days I should never had borrowed that money, Fagin whimpered. The gang tried to comfort Fagin. Tito put slippers on Fagin's feet. Einstein lifted up his legs, and Darter slid a cart closer for a footrest. Then Fagin recalled, I saw a cut on one Dover nose. Who did that? Darter gently pushed the kitten toward Fagin. Fagin cheered up and picked up the little kitten. You, he laughed. That took a lot of guts. We have never had a cat in our game before, said Fagin, but we can we can use all the help we can get. So the kitten was now a member of Fagin's crew. But the next day, the gang went into the city as planned. Einstein and Francis jumped in front of an oncoming limousine, which screeched to a halt. The driver got out and explained Francis, who pretended to be hurt. While a crowd gathered around, Francis, Tito, and the kitten slipped into the car to remove the radio. As Tito was busy with the wires under the dashboard, the kitten sat on top of the dashboard to keep watch. Tito, there's someone in the back seat, said the kitten in alarm. He jumped down and accidentally turned on the ignition. Tito screamed as the wires zapped him with electricity. The driver of the limousine, Winston, was holding Francis in his arm. When he heard Tito scream, he ran to the side of the limo in time to see Tito race out of the car. A girl named Jenny had been sitting in the back seat. When she saw the kitten, she picked him up. What an adorable kitty, she said. Our cat must still be in the car, cried Tito. Sure enough, as the limo drove away, the kitten looked back at his friends through the rear window. You were supposed to keep an eye on him, Darter scored Tito. Well, it's hard to watch anything when you are getting fried, replied Tito. Back at Jenny's home on Fifth Avenue, Jenny prepared some food for the kitten. I'll take good care of you, she assured him. George, wait, Georgette is not going to like this, Winston mumbled. Georgette was a pure-breed poodle, whose pride ribbon was hung on her bedroom wall. wearing a stylish hairdo and makeup. Georgette entered the kitchen for breakfast. Cat, she gasped, do you have any idea out of who bowl you are eating? Yours, the kitten asked sheepishly. Oh, Georgette, this is my new kitty, said Jenny. I'm going to call him Oliver. Winston was right. Georgette was not pleased to have Oliver around. Why should that cat get all the attention? She complained, seeing Jenny and Oliver at the piano. Wait till Mom and Dad return from their trip, Oliver said. Why, from the trip, Oliver, Jenny said. They'll love you too. Oh, Jenny, I don't hear any patchy skin, Winston called out. While Jenny played the piano, Oliver plucked some keys. A duet, Jenny laughed. Later that day, Jenny and Oliver went to Central Park. They took a boat ride, chased each other around the fence, and ate ice cream. Then they drove around the park in the carriage. Oliver playfully climbed on top of the carriage and hopped into Jenny's hair. A new fur hat, she giggled. Next, Jenny brought Oliver to a jewelry store. A salesman put a collar around Oliver's neck. It was engraved with his name and Fifth Avenue address. Perfect, said Jenny. Oliver liked the collar also. It official declared that he now had a home. That night, Jenny put away her clothes and got into bed. Good night, Oliver, she said, yawning. Oliver snugged up against her under the cover. He had never been so happy. The next morning, the gang waited across the street as Jenny left for school. Then Einstein rang the doorbell, and Francis played dead. Winston came out and saw the limp bulldog on the stairs. You again, he yelled and chased after Francis. Meanwhile, the rest of the gang rushed into the house. The gang looked around in awe. These paintings are a masterpiece, said Francis. Such fine furniture, remarked Rita, sitting on the sofa. And fine food, said Einstein, who had found the kitchen. Dodger led them upstairs to look for Oliver. They found Georgette larging on pillows near her bed. They had never seen such a bed. It had drapes and little stairways. When Georgetta saw Dodger, she barked in alarm. You are barking up the wrong tree, said Dodger. We want our cat, not you. Georgetta gladly led them to Oliver, she who was asleep on Jenny's bed. Einstein and Francis swept up the kitten into a sack. Let's high tie out of here, said Tito. When the gang returned to the bridge at the pier, they unloaded Oliver. You're home now, said Dodger carefully. But I was happy there, Oliver responded, surprising the gang. Just then, Fagin arrived. Only one more day, he brought it. He picked up Oliver and sat down. Thought you left us, Kitty. Then noticed Oliver's gold tag. Fagin explained, it's 125th Avenue, so that's where you've been. Fagin's face brightened. He excitedly walked over to the desk. The gang crowded around him. Fagin wrote, Dear Mr. Very Rich Cat Owner. Fagin brought Oliver to Sky shipping yard. They entered the warehouse. It was dark, except for a beam of light from an overhanging lamp. So Fagin, Sky began, leaning back in his chair. Did you bring me something green and crinkly to make me happy? Sky, I have an all-tight kitty plan, Faggot said nervously, putting Oliver on Sky's desk. He explained how he had kidnapped the cat and left a ransom note. You'll get your money tonight from the rich family, Fagin said, lifting Oliver's tag from Sky to read. They meet me at the harbor tonight to get their cat back. Well, Fagin warned Sky, this is your last chance. While Sky watched from his park limo, Fagin anxiously waited for Oliver owner. Soon Jenny and Georgetta appeared. Excuse me, sir, she said to Fagin. I am looking for my stolen kitty. I brought this to pay for him. Fagin stared at Jenny, piggy bank, and felt awful. Isn't that he said, I just found a lost kitty. Is this yours? Oh, Oliver, cried Jenny. Oh, thank you, mister. Suddenly the limousine roared up to them. Sky pulled Jenny into the car and screeched away. Oliver was left behind. You can't do that, shouted Fagin, running after the limousine. Inside the bridge, the gang heard Jenny scream and ran out. Jenny, they took Jenny, Oliver told them. Don't worry, we'll get her back, Darter winked, assuring. After this morning rescue operation, it'll be a snap. Sky had a plan to collect a large ransom fee for the return of Jenny. Back in his office at the warehouse, Sky tried to call 1125 Fifth Avenue. What do you mean it's unlisted? As he yelled at the operator, he did notice that the gang showed up on the surveillance monitor behind them. The gang creeped along a catwalk and entered the warehouse while Sky was on the telephone. Einstein quietly locked Sky office door. Meanwhile, the other found Jenny tied to a chair in another room. As they untied her, Sky Doberman started barking. They are coming, shouted Rita. Look, Looking around for a way out, Tito noticed a hook hanging from the ceiling. He climbed up on a platform and started to rewire the control box of a large crane. Darter attached the hook to Jenny's chair and ordered the gang to climb onto it. Quick, Tito, shouted Darter. Just as Oliver climbed onto the chair, the crane started to turn, lifting them up toward the ceiling. Oh dear, my hair's ruined. My nails are broken. We're going to die, shrieked Georgetta. Calm down. We're almost at the top, said Darter. Just as the game was hosted up through an opening in the ceiling, Sky and his Doberman broke into the room. Sky grabbed an axe and plunged it into a control panel. The surge of electricity threw Tito off the platform. The crane went dead, and Jenny and the gang fell into a heap below. Jenny, the dogs, and Oliver quickly recovered. They and escaped through a loading door on the other side. They were relieved to see Fagin appeared on his three-wheeler motorcycle. The gang powered onto the Tyke and sped away. Fagin quickly veered down the entrance step of a subway and onto the platform, but to their horror, Sky Limbo bounced down the entrance stairs and after them. As they approached the end of the platform, Fagin jumped the Tyke onto the track. Sky also bounced onto the tracks and closed in on them. Help! Screamed Jenny. Sky ran the tyke, throwing Jenny onto the limbo hood. As Jenny desperately clung to the hood, Sky reached out and tried to pull her into his car. Jenny screamed, and Ivor leaped from the tyke to the limousine. He bit Sky hand hard. Sky yelled and yanked his hand back, flinging Oliver on the back seat with the Doberman. The Doberman, who knows Oliver had scraps, groaned fiercely. Mr. Fagin, help! Shrieked Jenny, still clinging to the car. Georgetta took over the steering wheel as Fagin pulled Jenny into the tyke. Meanwhile, Darter jumped into Sky's car to get Oliver. Darter lurched at the Doberman, causing them to chase through the rear window. One of the Dobermen slipped off the hood onto the track. Darter bravely fought the other Doberman as the tyke in limbo swung out onto a bridge. The second Dober slid off the car. They slid off the car roof, and fell into the river below. Realizing that the end of the bridge was blocked off, Fagin turned sharply to the right. Sky slammed on his brakes. Darter and Oliver jumped off the car just as it skidded off the bridge. Jenny ran over to Oliver and hugged him. The next day, Fagin and the gang went to Jenny's apartment. Everyone sung happy birthday as Weston brought out a large cake with 8 candles. Don't forget to make a wish, Jennifer. Weston reminded her. The best present I could wish for is this room. Oliver and all of you, my friends, Jenny declared. The gang barked cheerfully as they blew out the candle. Oliver was very happy living with Jenny. Even Georgetta grew fond of him. But Oliver didn't forget his friends, Darter and the rest of Fagin gang. Once in a while, he would join them on the shore through the street of New York. It was not so frightening a place now that he had at home. So that was Oliver and Company from 1988. So if you like, subscribe, share, and comment. Have a groovy day with another video coming out real soon.